Welcome, everybody. I'm Sarah Blessing with Project Next, and this is Get the Word Out. And I'm with my good friend, Tony Hostetler. He's one of my favorite people on this planet. I'm so glad we live in the same area and are fighting the good fight together. Tony is with Hoosier Action. Hoosier Action is my favorite, my personal favorite organization that is pushing for change. They are pushing to make the state where I live in, Indiana, better by people grassroots led movement of pushing elected officials to do what we the people want, because we have lost that in our state. And I am so thankful to Hoosier Action, and I feel really privileged that you all will come on my platform and talk about what you all do. Tony, you are with Cuffs, Care Not Cuffs
Care
chapter
not
of
cut.
Hoosier Action. Yes,
Yeah.
so thank you for joining us. Just tell us a little bit about yourself. You came on very early in Project Next history, so go ahead and just tell us what you do with Hoosier Action, and let's talk about what you're doing on Thursday, because you guys have some exciting stuff happening this week.
We do, yeah. Lots of exciting stuff this week. They're up at the State House right now for an event. Yeah. Thanks again for having me on again. I just love being part of this. But yeah, I'm an addict in long-term recovery. Worked in the recovery field for many years. And the reason I got involved with Hoosier Action is, I started seeing all those gaps that were in the system. Just for example, test strips were illegal.
Test strips
We
like
didn't have,
testing fentanyl? Is that what it tests?
yeah, yeah. Well, different substances, fentanyl, xylazine. Now there's always a new one coming out the door that they have to introduce a test strip for. So, um, and people coming out of incarceration, there was just a lot of red tape and a lot of hurdles in the
Still
way.
is. There still is a
Still is.
lot.
Yeah,
Yes,
there's a bunch.
especially in
Bunch.
Indiana. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
So
have had quite the story, Tony. You are a recovering addict. I'm so proud of you. I'm so thankful you're alive and here today. And you've been in prison. I think you told me 91 days. Is that right?
91 days. That's
91
right.
days. You've been there, you've lived it. You have had to rely on help to get clean and sober,
Yeah.
and you now help many people get clean and sober. I went out to lunch with you when we first met, and
Mhm.
while we were eating, you would get calls and you would answer them, and it was people needing help that were recovering addicts. And I can't imagine how many calls you take every day helping people out, but I think that that's really incredible of you. So you know what it's like to survive. You're still living the fight. You're still every day dedicating your life to be clean and sober. And I think that's a difficult journey for you. And I'm just so proud of you. And you're every day helping as many people stay clean and sober. But then you're a full time employee of Hoosier Action, pushing for change for this group of people, right?
Yes. Yeah, and that was my focus was we we're so isolated by society. We're mistreated by society because of our disease we carry, and because we have felonies, and because we're justice impacted, and because there's a
The
plethora of things that
judgment, the
the
shame,
judge
the stigma,
stigma. Yeah. And
the
that's what.
dehumanization of
Oh,
people.
and
I mean,
that's I talk about that a lot in my platforms. Is when you go into county jail, it's a little different. They still treat you like a human, but when you're a property of the Department of Corrections, you've lost all humanity. My name in there was 26758 or 267585 or South G312 low. It wasn't Mr. Hostetler. It wasn't any of that. It was my
wow.
DOC number or my
You
birth
had to
assignment.
listen for your number to be called.
Yes, mail
Oh,
call, all.
I
So
I mean, I am glad you just spent 91 days in there. I'm friends with Rich Genzera, who spent 14 and a half years at maximum security prison in New York. And I can tell that still sits with him. He went in at 16 and he came out at 30.
and that's part of we've tried for 50 years to arrest ourselves out of this drug problem, and it's not working. In fact, it's creating more problems than what we go in with. And
Shocker, arresting
yeah,
people addicted to substances does not fix things. It doesn't make the streets safer. It doesn't cure them. It doesn't fix the problem. It just makes everything worse, right? It makes it
It
worse
does.
because
There's
once you
there's no
become a
reform in there.
felon,
Yeah,
once you've like a felon, you have that on your criminal record. It's much harder for you to get a job, for you to get an apartment, for it's much harder for you to live your life, right? Even
it
if
is.
you have completely recovered, you're sorry for whatever you did, you're ready to change your life and be a good citizen, it's so hard to do that.
And you've already paid your debt to society and come off paper. You no longer have probation or parole holding you up. And it's still, you have to check that box on so many different things. They want to know if you're a felon or what your convictions are. And so that's just another thing that we need to work on down the line.
Yeah, to make it so that it's easier for people to get a job, right?
Yeah.
Just to get a
Yes.
job or to have housing, or to have housing where you have rights and you have a decent place to live. It's got to be
Yes.
hard.
Safe housing. And
Safe
that's
housing.
one of our big platforms. If we can get people housed first and foremost, then we can work on treating some of the other side issues, mental health, the addiction, getting them, get a budget set up, get them a resume, um, just different things. But you can't, when they're out there on the streets and in survival mode, a lot of them get released from prison straight to the street because they burnt their bridges with family, um, at the time, so
Because
they
of the
had nowhere to
stigma,
go.
the stigma. So it's very hard for family members to forgive them or to help them. It puts a lot of burden on these families that this is happening to. So if you're lucky enough to have a good family, which that helped save Rich Genzero, he had a loving family who forgave him and welcomed him and helped him. If you don't have that extra support, you're right, you're on the street.
Right. And I've
Ugh.
literally had them when I was working at one of the local shelters. Parole agents would come in, and if we didn't have a bed, they would go to Walmart and get them a tent and say, "You're going to have to sleep in the woods." That's not. That is not okay. That is not okay. We've got to do better with reentry in society. And I
Yes.
had
So
I had
that's
noticed
something
that
you're fighting
there.
with.
Yes, and I did notice this week there's a little amendment to SB1 that's cutting some. SB1's cutting a lot of funding and different things, but
So
there
this
is a
is
good
this is Senate Bill 1. Right now in
Senate bill.
Indiana, we have a part-time state house, state senate, government workers, part-time session, and we're ending it pretty soon here. And so Senate Bill 1 is going to do what, Tony? Can you tell us about it?
I don't. You know what? I don't know the ins and outs of it. I just
Just
know
tell us
that
the
there's
part you know is fine because it's too
yeah, there's
big.
going
It's
to be
too much.
yes, it's too big. There's too much to read in there. All the amendments. It's going to cut a lot of funding, a lot of Medicaid funding. It's people are going to die because of it. It's going to kick people off Medicaid. Different state. We're going to lose some SNAP benefits. Um, but I've
Snaps what
noticed
helps with food stamps for everybody that doesn't know.
food
Yeah.
stamps. Yeah.
I
So
just had a
uh,
show, Tony, with Kumba Kebe. She's this amazing woman that is an expert in public health, and she brought up this too. And she said the same thing that you're telling me on my show a couple hours ago. How upset she is, and this is why she's running for state house, is because she wants to help with public health. So
right.
yeah, a lot of people in
But
this
there,
state that are paying attention are upset about SB1, Senate
as
Bill
they
1.
should. Yeah, as they should be. I mean, these are real people we're talking about. I mean, it's going to cause loss of life.
So
But
I
there
want
is
to
an
go back
amendment.
a little bit. I want to go back just a minute, Tony, and I want to talk about how you got this job because this is your full-time job with Hoosier Action.
It is.
And you went from somebody who made you made a mistake, you had a disease, an addiction disease, you went to jail, you got out, you went to a recovery house, right?
I went to the Salvation Army in Indianapolis.
And
Yeah,
what year was this?
that was 2015.
And when did you meet like Kate and start volunteering for Hoosier Action? Can you just tell me a little bit about your story?
Actually, I met Will. It was
I
in
met
about.
Will. Yeah, I met Will a
It
few
was
weeks ago. He's
in.
awesome.
He is awesome. Yeah, he's one of my mentors. Yeah, I can't remember the year. It was post COVID, I
Oh,
think.
okay. So not that long
Uh,
ago.
Well, it's been a while now. But met him at a they were it was a town hall in Scottsburg that we were doing for some of the syringe service programs that were going on up there, trying to fight on that stuff. Um, and got up and spoke. And you know me, I'm pretty passionate when I get up and speak. And Will seen that, and he invited me out to coffee, and I've been involved with Hoosier Action ever since. I was doing it on
Wow. So
volunteer.
you just kind of heard about them and went to a town hall sponsored by Hoosier Action.
No, it wasn't sponsored by Hoosier Action. Actually, it was sponsored by another grassroots organization.
Oh,
Hoosier Action
wow.
just happened. We weren't a very big organization at that time.
So Will
So
was there
Will was
with
there.
Hoosier Action, saw
Yeah,
you, invited you to coffee, and invited you to be a volunteer for Hoosier Action.
yeah, yep.
That's amazing. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Eh,
so it was in and out for several, I was in and out several years. He put me, I think it was the first month I was there, he put me on the stage with a microphone in my hand, and we it was Hoosier Action and Tracy Skaggs with Project Recovery, several different people. We hosted a town hall, and we were trying to get first responders here in Floyd County to carry Narcan. So, and that was a success. We finally made enough noise, had enough city leaders and other people in there that um, would make a difference and listen to us, and finally got that pushed
So
over the edge.
before Hoosier Action got involved, people were not carrying Narcan, and Narcan is what you use when somebody overdoses.
That's an overdose reversal. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
They were not carrying uh,
And so Hoosier
Narcan.
Action pushed, you helped push for this, and now who's carrying it? Who's carrying Narcan now?
First responders in Floyd County.
First responders in Floyd County. So
Yeah,
you've
police, firemen. Yeah.
okay, so Hoosier Action, I wonder how many lives you saved alone just with that act, just with getting Floyd County. And thanks to the first responders, thanks for the people in charge for listening to Hoosier Action and doing that. I wonder how many people's lives you saved just in that alone.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, probably couldn't even put a number on it. And then when I
So,
first hired on full time, that was my first line of duty, is to become a Narcan distributor. So I got a
oh
whole
wow.
overdose line, and now we are now a Narcan and test strip distributor.
So you're kind of seeing, you all, for those of you that don't know about Hoosier Action, the action part of this. So
Yes.
I looked up on your Facebook just now, Hoosier Action. Here's what it says on your Facebook: community organization building the power of rural and small town Hoosiers. You're
Yes.
basically being a voice for the community, for what the community needs the most, and you're pushing for it. And
Yes.
sometimes you're able to get it done, sometimes you're not. And then you're looking to another, well, how do we get it done? Since we got stopped here, what's the next obstacle? What do
Right.
we do next? And so your power to the people, this is the group I recommend. You know, you don't go to protesting has a benefit. There is a good thing about protesting, but what's next? What's next after the constant protesting? And I would say, if you live in Southern Indiana or in Indiana, Hoosier Action is what's next. Hoosier Action is your next step, because you guys actually push for change. You've actually done things that create change. You
Yes.
yourself, Tony, has done things that have created change. Can we talk about the testing strips that you brought up at the beginning and what Hoosier Action and you did last year? Because this is incredible.
Yeah. That took about 2.5 years
Oh,
to get
wow.
that
I
done.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
We
so
we
testing strips for fentanyl and stuff were illegal in Indiana, right?
They were considered contraband after use. Yes.
Contraband after
Uh,
use, meaning
Contraband.
they would hurt you if you got arrested. It would be as evidence to be that you're a drug addict, to throw you in jail
Yeah.
longer.
Yes.
Okay. But
It could
actually
be an extra charge.
using them shows whether your drug you're gonna take could give you an overdose or not,
It
right?
detects the substance. If there's
Okay.
fentanyl or xylazine or whatever test strip you use, it detects whether the substance
So
is in
you
there or
can
not.
buy different types of test strips for different
You
types of
can.
drugs.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can get
Yeah.
them free from Overdose Lifeline, or come by the office and I can give you however many you need. So we keep
Your
them on
office
hand.
is in New Albany. Who's your action office
Yeah.
in New Albany? Okay.
Yes.
I'm just
919
trying to
State
figure all
Street.
this out because this is new to me. You basically taught it to me last time we talked. Okay. So for 2.5 years, you and Hoosier Action fought to get testing strips in Indiana legalized, so you're allowed to use them and they're not seen as contraband.
Yes.
How
And the
did
first
you,
year,
yeah, go
first
into it.
year
How
we
did you
went
get
up,
them?
yeah, first year we went up there, and I went up personally and testified in committee. And they didn't even hear the bill. They wouldn't even look at it. That was in Aaron Freeman's committee. Um, So the second year we went up and hosted a town hall, harm reduction day, our first annual harm reduction day, and held a press conference. We had speakers. Tracy Skaggs was there. She was a featured speaker. And we met with legislators, and we called and we emailed and we texted, and it got a vote. It got a floor vote. So, and we made enough noise to get it passed into law. And some of the authors of that bill said that, literally Hoosier Action and Care Not Cuffs was the catalyst to get that done. Took a lot of work from all over the state, of course, but it was that harm reduction day and the press we got out of that was what pushed it over the edge.
So it passed last year, correct?
It
2025,
passed, yeah, yeah,
and then it was
going
enacted when, in July? So
July,
recently?
yeah, July.
Okay.
And
When
we also worked hard on the homeless criminalization bill last year. That
Yeah,
was a
so
big
last year they tried to
widespread
criminalize
effort.
homelessness. I remember Hoosier Action pushing that homelessness is not a crime, and you were able to get that taken out. And so, but what is happening this year? Are they trying this again this year to make homelessness a crime?
It's supposed to be heard on the House floor today. There are some amendments to it. It's still, I mean, homelessness is going to be criminalized, I'm afraid. But
Okay.
if it passes House today, it's going to go back to the Senate floor to vote on the amendments, and then we'll see. Then we'll see what happens. But yeah, not hopeful, but we're
I'm
pretty sure
upset
we're.
about that. So, okay, so let's say we arrest someone who's an addict. They go to jail. Somehow in jail they get clean and they want to restart their life, but they don't have family support. And they come out, they get released from jail because they're a felon with a criminal record. They can't get a job. They don't have family support. They have no place to go. Somebody buys them a tent to say, go live in the woods. That's a crime.
Yes,
That's what we're fearful is going to happen. Was probably
yes,
going to happen.
yes.
So then we're kind of relying upon local law enforcement and if they're going to enforce that law, because I would imagine you would fill up your jail cells very quickly with people that are
Very quickly.
homeless that were just in there,
Yeah,
and got released. And since they don't have enough support, bam, they're back in the system. And so taxpaying dollars is going towards this, and their life is pretty miserable. Um, so I mean, what's the solution if it gets passed? Are we going to be at talking to sheriffs and asking them not to criminalize it? What's the next step here?
well, I've already done that.
You're
And
amazing,
asked the
Tony.
question. I've already asked the questions, and I'm not going to name names, but yeah, they said that they're not going to push for criminalization. They can't speak for the officers, so not all police officers are good, and they do target people like myself, drug addicts, and people that are
Well, they have a stigma, and
uncharted.
they think that they
There's
probably think they're
stigma,
doing the right thing. They think they're protecting their community because they have the
right?
stigma of these type of people. Well, here you are one of these type of people, Tony, and you are an incredible human being. I love you so much. So you're showing right now that stigma isn't always true. So maybe we shouldn't
No,
judge people based on a mistake or a disease.
and that's the thing. We suffer from a disease. I don't care what people, they can argue that, they can debate that all they want. We suffer from a disease. Um, if you get kidney disease or cancer, your best hope is you can go back to how you were before you had that disease. When you deal with the disease of addiction, we get better the longer we stay sober, clean and sober. It's not just about putting the drugs down or putting the plug in the bottle. It becomes a lifestyle, and it's not just a job, it's a lifestyle that we do. We live recovery every moment of the day, and people see that now. I mean, our local authorities, judges, prosecutors, they love people in recovery.
Our friend Jason Kerberg, our mutual friend that's running for sheriff, he
Yeah,
really has a lot of compassion for people that are on this journey, and he wants to help them.
he
And
does.
I think that's really amazing because before I met him, I didn't know that was the feelings of police officers. And I know it's not the feeling of all of them, but
No,
you know, eh, I know that's one of the reasons why the three of us are friends, because we all have this general thing of wanting to help people's lives. We don't
right.
want to hurt them. So, yeah, it's just frustrating because I'm seeing, all these bills that are going to be passed. A lot of them are going to hurt us. Like you're saying, they're going to make it so people can't get health insurance. They're going to make it so people can't pay their medical bills. It's going to take away SNAP benefits for people. We're going to hurt children. We're going to hurt every people that need help the most from the government. We're going to
Yeah.
be hurting them. You know what that's going to probably do, Tony? Make more of them addicts.
Yeah.
Because when your life is so stressful, when you're a human being and your life is so stressful, you want an escape. So your chance of becoming an addict increases, right?
Yes. And that's that. Yeah. Oh, dramatically. And that's one of the biggest myths is that our unsheltered people are all drug addicts and they have sex crimes and they're violent. And that's just not the case. Usually, I mean, it's usually, yeah, there's some mental health involved, but it's usually just a bad situation they were put in and now they can't climb out of it. So, yeah, if you're in uh, survival mode all the time, uh, you're going to want to escape. If I was living out on the streets, I would get high again, because I would
Yeah.
want to escape that all that.
Yeah. And we're so judgmental of it. And I think the reason we're judgmental, Tony, is because we don't want to hurt. We don't want to look and see that this is a human being, that this could happen to us. It could happen to me. It could happen to you. We want to think that they're a bad person or they made terrible mistakes. It's their fault. They're addicted. And we want to blame them, shame them, lock them up, and throw away the key because it hurts. It hurts to see, guess what? We're all human.
Right.
We're all human beings and we all mess up. Some of us, our mistakes are much bigger than other mistakes and hurt our lives so much more. And part of the big reason why I started Project Next is to bring empathy to this state and this country. Anybody that will watch it, to let them see, here's Tony, my friend who I adore. My husband adores you. We care about you so much. You could have died
Yeah.
from your disease.
I
And
did die.
you
I
did?
did die.
Do
I
you want
was
to tell us
revived.
about that? You were
Yeah,
revived. Oh my
I
gosh.
was revived. Yes. And that was before people were carrying Narcan. Yeah, I woke up on breathing machines and a tube down my throat. Yeah. Yeah, something was living for me.
I'm so
And
glad you're here, my friend.
that wasn't enough to stop. And
You still kept
it wasn't,
going.
still kept going. It was
That
prison.
shows
Prison was
disease.
my, yeah,
A
it's the
disease.
disease.
This helps to show this. Clearly, you don't want to live that way, you
No,
know?
no, nobody does. Nobody wants to live that way. And I came from a good family. I have good stock. I was raised right. It does not discriminate.
Well, some
And then
human
I think,
beings are more like more tempted by it than others too. And like, I just think it just depends on human beings. Like some people have a higher tolerance of wanting to be an addict and some people that don't, like,
yeah. And of course, there's always a cultural, chain to that. And,
but and then
where you,
add what we were talking about. If your life is hard and you're in survival mode, you
right,
want to, you want to break from reality.
right.
Yeah.
And
So
you're less, you're lower income places and higher crime. And of course, yeah, it's going to be part of that situation out there.
yeah. And for those of people that don't want to give a second chance, what would have happened if you didn't get a second chance or a third chance or a fourth chance? You and I wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
We would be
You have
having this conversation.
you have literally helped pass things that turned into law that save people's lives because of your very hard life experiences. So if we don't give these people that come out of prison a second chance, we are stopping so much good from happening. We're lucky
Yeah.
that you got out of prison and were able to have this job. That you have a good paying job, that you're able to fight for this, that you're able to do your work. You're lucky and rare, right? It's rare that your
Yes.
recovery story is such a success.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because about 2% of the population actually climbs out of that disease of addiction and has a successful life.
Only
Uh,
2% of
but
people survive?
I think it's a little higher now with harm reduction techniques and some of the things we have in place. Of course, we got more treatment centers available. So I think it's a little higher now, but 2% is the, I don't know if you've seen a lot of people get the 2% tattoo on their hand.
Oh, no.
Uh, yeah,
That's
that's what it stands for is 2%. Like methamphetamine and heroin, I don't know. We're seeing some increase in that rate.
Yeah,
A
because if
big
you
drop
had
in
the right
recidivism.
resources, the person has to want to do it. That's a part of it.
Yeah,
But if they had the right resources to get out, that rate would increase. So you're thinking that's probably a little bit higher now, and hopefully it'll keep going up. I'm
yeah,
fearful it's going to go down in Indiana because of the things that are being passed by our legislators right now to make it harder. So it I'm just thinking how many more Tonys are out there in the state or in the country that can't get that second chance that could be doing what you're doing, fighting for positive change. And it just kind of makes my heart hurt a little bit because they're out there.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thankfully, Will saw you and invited you to coffee that day. You know? I mean, it's just kind of mind blowing to me that we're going to shame and judge and keep hurting instead of getting more Tonys out in the world.
Right. Yeah, because all I
So,
needed was an opportunity and that chance. And that's what I do. I do the same thing Will did to me. Is I go meet people and I invite them for coffee, and then all of a sudden I wind up with people like Shauna Burns in my chapter. That she's phenomenal. She shows up. We You mentioned that we lose all of our humanity in the disease of addiction. That I mean, dealing with substance use disorder and the system, we lose our humanity. I found a place where I could use my voice, and actually, my voice mattered, and that was so important to me because I was just spinning my wheels. I was just trying to lone wolf out there and telling people this is what needs to happen. This is what needs to change. This is what needs to change over here. Well, I found a place where I could actually change it.
and yeah, and
And
it's your job. You get paid
yes,
for it.
now I get paid
I'm
for it.
so glad you said that because that's probably my favorite thing about Hoosier Action. It's hard to pick, but Hoosier Action gives every person that steps into the table that says, I want to volunteer and help with this. Hoosier Action gives them a voice and says, you matter. I
Yeah,
also really like because I went to a like 3 hour meeting with Hoosier Action a couple weeks ago, and I saw everybody's in a circle. The Hoosier Action people are talking, but all of us have a voice and we're all equal. There's nobody that's more important than other people.
yeah.
It takes away, they don't care whether you have a title, whether you're an elected official, whether you're a candidate. They don't care who you are. You're equal in Hoosier Action. What you say matters, and how can you help work with Hoosier Action to push for change. And I just being in the political world, it's not like that. It's very who's on top gets more power, listened to better. So I really love that about Hoosier Action.
And we want that power so the state listens to us.
And you're
And yeah,
just
we're very nonpartisan. We're not a faith-based. Everybody's welcome. Just wait till you see some of the people that are coming up to the state house on Tuesday. I've got all shapes, sizes, colors. Face tattoos. I have some of the
I love
unhoused
that.
population coming up. We're taking a bus from here,
Tony,
so
I met Kate like a month ago. We had maybe 2 weeks ago, we had lunch together. And I met her before, but I didn't get to talk to her privately. And I love her so much. Kate is the founder of Hoosier Action. And I told Kate about my favorite interaction with a human being that I'd ever had. And it was a Black woman who came up to me at Harvest Homecoming. And I introduced myself, and she started telling me about all the organizations she works for. And I was like, you're so awesome. And she smiled and she goes, I don't wear my teeth when I meet people. And she goes, I don't wear my teeth when I meet people because I learn very quickly whether somebody cares about me or they care about my, status. And I told Kate that story. The next day or 2 days later, I go to the Hoosier Action thing. She's one of the main volunteers. Is Charlotte.
I miss Charlotte.
Is Charlotte. And she
She's
remembered
been,
talking to me, and I gave her my cell number, and I
yeah,
told her that she was my favorite interaction. So that amazing woman, and I talked to like tens of thousands of people at this point now. My favorite person is working for Hoosier Action. If that doesn't
she's
tell you about the
awesome. Yeah.
quality of people that work for Hoosier Action, Yeah. Yeah.
And not to, break her out or anything, but she's in long-term recovery as well.
she's so amazing. I love her.
Yeah, she's
So shout
great.
out to Charlotte.
We have a great team.
Yeah.
Uh,
You're the yeah, the people that work for Hoosier Action are incredible people. I always feel when I'm with you all, I it's like a mental health help for me. I feel like you're my people. It's like, let's call stuff out and let's demand change and let's make things better for because people we love are hurting, you know? And
right.
it's like, and I'm not doing this anymore. Yeah. So, okay, let's talk about what you're doing on Thursday because that's why we're meeting right now. What are you doing? So today, right now, you all, Hoosier Action is fighting data centers. You
Yes.
can, I think they're having a little bit of problem with their streaming link. I just checked. They're gonna get
Yeah.
it up. They've recorded it, but they just did it at 11, a press conference because the state house did not pass anything to stop our data center problem.
No.
even
No.
though even though Governor Mike Braun said he wanted to do something about it. They did nothing. So today Hoosier Action is fighting data centers. What is Hoosier Action and you particularly Tony with your Care Not Cuffs doing at the state house on Thursday?
We're going up Thursday for our second annual harm reduction day. We had so much success last year that we wanted to do it again. Now we're going to make it just a yearly thing. But we're going up there first and foremost. We're going to have host a memorial service. I got a friend of mine coming from Evansville area. He lost his daughter, I think 4 years ago now,
I'm so
to
sorry.
to fentanyl poisoning. We're going to bring pictures and hold up our pictures of people lost loved ones.
Because this
We've
is
lost
real
13.
human beings dying from
Yes, they
fentanyl
have a
overdose.
name. They
Real
have
human
families that
beings.
care about them. Yes. We're going to hopefully open up with a little secular prayer, welcome people into the space. My Shauna's going to open it up and get set the tone. Dennis is going to talk about Sarah and those struggles and where he's going now with all that. He has some big plans as well because I mean he's fired up about what goes on in the state too and how they don't help us. Then we're going to read the names of I don't know how many people, but we'll write down the names of people we want remembered. A little moment of silence, and then we'll shift gears and go into more the political part. Why? Why do we need to host these things? Why do we need to be up here? And of course, our focus is going to be, we're going to talk about the syringe service bill this year, SB 91. Yes, we're going to get it passed, but there's a lot of stipulations in there it's gonna cause a lot of hurdles for people. Like showing your
So,
ID. I mean,
so what is this? What are you talking about? Can you explain that?
yeah, so there's 6 different counties in the state that have syringe service programs.
Six
That's a
counties out
place,
of what do we have? 90 something, 91 counties?
92,
92.
yeah.
Okay.
I'd love to see SSPs in all 92 counties. Um, but it's a place where you can go. I mean, Clark County does it at the health department. You can go, you can get clean syringes, you can get clean using materials, distilled water, alcohol wipes. You can get everything you need to reduce harm from using. That's the thing, addicts are going to use regardless.
So you're
Let's keep
trying to
them
get
safe.
addicts, keep them alive until they can recover. Hopefully,
Yes.
hopefully they can go
Yeah.
into
And it could,
recovery.
yeah, and it could, yes. Yeah. If they're dead, I mean, if we lose them, there's no hope for recovery at that point. But the biggest thing that SSPs do is it creates a relationship with somebody that you can trust that probably's been down that road before. And so when you are ready, and everybody hits that point at some point in their lives where I'm tired of this. I'm tired of going to jail. I'm tired of, people looking at me like I'm an alien. So I want something different. If you can make that connection there, and that's what the main part of the SSPs is a
Yeah, I don't think I
relationship.
fully realized that. That makes sense. So you're opening up a connection with an addict. You're saying use safely so that you don't overdose. And when you're ready, here's the person you've been going to get the safe supplies. You can say, I'm ready for help. And they take him in and get him the next steps, get him into recovery. Okay.
Yes,
So
and
that's something I didn't fully understand.
Thrive's doing a lot with that. They'll send them over to Thrive, and
Thrive.
Thrive will connect them with somebody, and Thrive's
That's another
working
good
in jail
organization, you
too.
guys. So
It's another
Thrive
good, yes,
is in
yes.
Indiana. Is it just Southern Indiana?
They're in several counties now.
Oh,
I think
good.
13 counties. Yeah.
So, yeah, I know I'm hoping that some people that are listening, they might be struggling with this. I mean, I hope they're not struggling, but if they are listening to it and they have a loved one suffering from addiction, you can hear some things. So Thrive is something you might want to look up. Hoosier Action, you might want to look up. Tony, you can literally be friends with Tony if you're in Southern Indiana and he will
Can
try to help. But you need support. I can't
yeah,
imagine. I have a friend, his name's Steve, and he lost his son to an overdose, and it happened very quickly. Very quickly, his son like lost his job. Think times were tough. He became an addict, and then he overdosed. And then he lost his. He is taking care of his two grandsons now, and he lost his the mother to the two grandsons last year. And can you imagine having a child going through this journey and hoping they didn't die, they don't get pills that have fentanyl? You know, you're that's when you're really like, "Oh, we need these programs to help keep them alive until they're ready to face, long-term recovery," which is
right.
hard. Yeah. Oh,
And I
man.
know so many grandparents that are raising their kid, their
Yeah.
kids for not just
Yeah.
that reason, but maybe they're in long-term incarceration. So, I mean, there's so many. We have members that are going through that same exact thing.
So, a
So,
Thursday, you all this Thursday, February 26th at 11 a.m. at the Indiana State Capitol, they're doing this. It's at the second annual Harm Reduction Day of Action, Care Not Cuffs, Hoosier Action. If you want, can people come to it? Can people register? It says here, register at
ab-
hoosieraction.org/events. So it,
absolutely. I want everybody that wants to go show up on it's going to be outside on the steps
okay.
this year. Yeah. Yeah. We
So
weren't able to get
go
an
to
inside.
hoosieraction.org/events, sign up to come, and then just people meet you at the State House.
Yep. Yep. We'll be right there on the south steps on the south side. You'll
Okay.
see us. We'll be in our, well, I'll be in my Care Not Tough shirt, but you'll see some Hoosier Action shirts and
Okay.
you'll know.
And I've gone to this event. I've gone to Hoosier Action stuff twice, and you might be, going in there alone and you're the only person. You very quickly are not alone. You just say,
No.
"Hey, I'm here for Hoosier Action to show support for," and you will meet your people, you all. You will
Yeah.
very quickly meet people that they just care about human beings and they care about community. And that's a beautiful thing. And it's really something
Beautiful.
that's missing. I'm really worried about mental health, everybody's mental health, because times are getting harder for most of us. I was talking to Tim Peck about this. Even people that have like upper middle class people are struggling more now. Like things are more expensive than they used to be. So imagine if you're struggling financially, life is harder for you. And life was already hard for us. It was already hard. And so our mental health is struggling. If you're following online and you're divided and you're thinking everybody's so hateful and you're not seeing reality, join a group like Hoosier Action, because you quickly realize that's not real, that's fake. Most people are good, right? I mean, doesn't this help you stay sober, Tony, to
Oh,
get out and do
absolutely.
what you're doing and meeting these
Yeah.
people? Yeah,
And I love people. I never knew that because I isolated from everybody and just hid my stuff. And now that I was a shy and backward and awkward kid when I was little. Now I'm a
that's so
social
funny.
butterfly. I
Yes,
know.
you are such
Uh,
a social butterfly.
and I love people now because I see it's just a love for people. I see what I mean, they're funny and they're intelligent and they're wild and they're my people. And I want to get to know them and I want them to come along this crazy train with me.
That's sort of another thing you see with Hoosier Action. It's a love for people. A
It is
love
a
for
love for
people. It's
people.
a love for
Yeah.
people, and it's okay. Our community in Southern Indiana is suffering. We care about people. Let's work together to shine a light on this suffering. And then let's go up and let's talk to as many elected officials that'll listen to us, and let's push for them to see us as human and say, "Look, these are the people living in your area and they are hurting and they're real and they don't need the stigma and the shame. They're fighting. Let's help them." And you make elected officials, you have them look and see the humanity in these problems so that they're not just statistics. And that is one of the ways you're able to actually get change.
Yeah. And lawmakers might forget they can actually vote too. So that's one of my big pushes this year is getting people registered to vote and educate them on voting and
Man,
why it's important.
that's so important. It's so needed in Indiana because it's a harder state to vote in, and also a lot of people in this state feel hopeless, and so they say, "Why vote?" They just think, all sides are bad, and what's the use? And it's important. What you guys do is you help shine a light on, well, which people are actually fighting, and you're not partisan.
No,
You're not partisan. You look at everybody as an individual person and you say which person is fighting for humans, fighting for Hoosiers. And I think that's another really good tool and it's really powerful. From when Hoosier Action started to now, isn't it been growing a lot?
we've grown tremendously over the last 3 years. Um, and that was, I used this last year and a half, almost 2 years to learn kind of the craft of organizing and how to work with people. This year is going to be our growing year, our Care Not Cuts growing year. We're really going to get out and meet people and host some cool events. And next year we'll show up with 300 people at the State House. So
I like you guys. Hoosier Action does door knocking. Can you talk a little
we
bit about
do.
what you're doing door knocking about? Because normally you just hear about elected officials or people that want to get elected door knocking. What are you all door? What's Hoosier Action door knocking about?
Well, we started out last year as a campaign, Know Your Neighbor. We were just going knock your block is what we called it. So we would just went around and started meeting our neighbors and what's your concerns in the neighborhood? Do you have a safe place to go when it storms or when the power goes out? That's when it kind of opened that door for data centers, and people were concerned about the data center coming in Jeffersonville. It kind of flew in under the radar. Nobody knew about it. Now they're trying to pop up all over the state. So that led to a massive campaign that's going to be ongoing. You know, it's just getting to know people. You don't know how many times we've walked up to a door and said, "Hey, I'm not selling anything. I'm here. I'm selling you some hope. I'm going to give you some hope." And explain what we're doing and what we do politically. And they're like, "Man, I've been waiting on you to knock on my door. I've been waiting for this."
Somebody
And
cares about me and we're going to
buddy, yeah,
organize, join us, organize with us, be a part, be a voice. And then
yes,
another thing that's neat about Hoosier Action is as you get enough people concerned about an issue, you make a block, I think is what you call it. You make it a block issue and then people can branch off and just focus on that. So you got a data center group. You got a group
yeah,
that focus on data center and that's the group that went up to the state house today. And then you've got
mhm,
your group
yes.
and then there's other ones. There's
We
like
have,
I
yeah,
think you have like
Will does transparency in government. Um, or transparency, it's called TAG, transparency and accountability in government. We've got Tracy up in Bloomington. She does a lot of work with Medicaid work and healthcare work. Jake in Columbus, he's doing a lot with school boards, and he's a young, a young father of young kids, and there's a lot of issues in the school systems, and that's what and whatever campaigns come up,
so
we
like
just
that's another thing. Like if somebody joined Hoosier Action and they had another one, because guess what? We got a lot of problems. There's another thing that's not being met yet, and you want to help lead that. Hoosier Action is kind of a nice place where maybe that might fit. Maybe it might work where you can join a group and you can kind of be a volunteer and do as much as you want. You can do little, you can do a medium amount, you can do a lot. It's kind of up to you. Um, you get to decide how much action you want to put in Hoosier Action. And
yeah.
I just am really impressed with the model that Kate has set up. And I'm really impressed with your drive to push and make your chapter big. The reason we first met is you found out about Project Next and you just kept messaging me to get on the
Mhm.
show. And I didn't know who you were. I didn't know if you were a safe person, but because you kept messaging me, I talked to you. And then I was like, yeah, I want you on the show. And so we've been friends ever since. And now I know more about your life. And you came up for coffee last week. That was really nice. You
Yeah.
do. You were just, yeah, you're just amazing. And your drive to advocate for these people that are some of the people that need our help the most in this country is
Yeah.
really a beautiful thing. And you're not afraid to see their pain. That's
No.
what stops a lot of people. You've been in that pain, you said you did die and got brought back to life, thankfully. You've been in that pain and that hurt, so I think that makes you a good person to be able to handle it. You know what I mean? Because not everybody can look at addiction so honestly as other people who've got out of it.
Yeah, and there's no judgment in Care Not Cut or Hoosier Action. Period. We don't judge, man. You're welcome at our table.
Well, there's
So
so much judging in the political world, let me tell
you're,
you, Tony. There's so much
oh, you
judging.
don't have to tell me. We deal with it all the time. There's a lot of politicians that don't like us,
Me too.
but we have some allies too. We have some that love what we do.
Well, another
When I
thing
went up,
is
when I
something
went up
that's
to see the test strip bill get signed, there was several legislators and senators in the room, and I didn't know them all, but I was wearing my Hoosier Act, my Care Not Cuss, and introducing this Hoosier Action, and they wanted to meet me. They wanted to come to me and
they
shake
should.
my hand and say, "Hey, I love what you're doing. Keep doing it."
That's great. That's another thing I
That
was gonna
was
point out. If somebody votes wrong and then you talk to them and then they vote right, you are like praising them. You're not constantly shaming them and
no,
guilting them because they voted bad in the past. You're just, we don't care how you voted last time.
no,
Listen, here's why we need to change that perspective you have. Here's the data. Here's the info. Here's a person right here, recovery. Here's a person that lost their child because of fentanyl. Here's this. And you're showing them and you're getting them to see things that they might have put blinders up before and maybe they vote differently. Hoosier Action is not judgmental. It is action based. You keep doing the work hoping that they change, and if they don't change, maybe you can help push to get somebody in that job that's better. Right?
right, yes,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
kind
that's
of, it's rare because when you look online, there's so much judgment of how people have voted in the past. And I get it. I totally get it, but it doesn't help us make things better. It just makes the people getting shamed angrier and more willing to keep hurting us. Because it's like, you hurt my feelings. I'm going to hurt your feelings. Well, now you hurt my feelings. It's just this revenge thing that just keeps escalating and it's not working and it makes me sick.
Me too. Yeah, the two-party system as a whole is not working. I mean, we've lost that. Democrats don't act like Democrats no more, and
You
it's
just have
just
to judge people based on the people, the person.
yeah.
You have to. Yeah. Okay. So can you tell me in your life experience, because you're a hero to me, by the way. Kate's definitely a hero to me. Um,
She's a
what
hero to me too.
yeah, what does work? Like you've kind of told us some. You're going and you're talking to the representatives. You're shining a light. Hoosier Action's growing. You're growing so people want to talk to you. We're seeing some of it. But is there any tips we're missing into the secret of Hoosier Action where you're actually pushing some positive legislation through?
I mean, there's no secret. It's just a matter of getting out and meeting people first and foremost, and getting them aligned with what your core values are. Then going and meeting with some of these lawmakers and legislators and people that make these decisions and see if we can align with them. Some of them don't know these situations. Some of them don't know that about testing strips and why they're important and why reentry is important. They don't know unless you bring
I
it to the
literally
table.
did not know about this stuff. I knew addiction was bad. I knew I wanted to help about it, but I didn't know these specifics until I met you and you taught me.
Yeah,
So
I mean they're humans too. They don't. Yes,
we
they're
don't know
of course
everything. They're just
they
regular
don't know
people.
everything. Yeah, they're just regular people.
So
And once you kind of see that and it's not so intimidating anymore. People don't know that you can walk in the state house, sign up, and go meet with your legislator. People don't know that,
you're right.
but you
Yeah.
can. You can
What do
send
you
them an
do for the
email.
legislators? Are there legislators that won't see you or are you able to get and talk to everybody?
It will talk to everybody. There's absolutely legislature, and I'm not going to name names,
No, don't
but
name names because
there's a
maybe they
few that
will.
I know. Yeah, there's a few that if they see a hoot, they make a beeline the other way.
Yeah,
They
that makes
don't want to
sense.
talk to us. Yeah. Uh, and those are the one, I know we probably never going to align with them on anything. You
So
know,
that's the ones where maybe you shine a light,
I
maybe you
don't
should
waste
like
my, I don't waste my time.
And
Um,
then but sometimes, like, they're pretty powerful people in Indiana
yes,
that won't listen to you. Do you sometimes try to go to their events and talk to them?
yes, yeah. We have, in fact, they come down, there's some coming down to Southern Indiana that I can't get a meeting with, so I must show up at some of these events and, hey, how you doing? I'm Tony Hostetler, Care Not Cuffs. Let's talk.
Yeah.
So,
I think
yeah,
that
sometimes you
that
got to put
separates
yourself,
you
yeah,
from a lot of you know how hard it is to go to an event where people don't want you there and to talk to someone who doesn't want to talk to you? That's a hard thing, and I say most human beings avoid that. So this is another thing that separates you that Will saw, that Kate saw to pull you into Hoosier Action because you're willing to do that. So
yeah,
that's
I'm
important.
pretty bold, but I still, there's still, it gets intimidating sometimes. But like I said, when I hired on to this job, I said, even if I'm living in fear with something, I'm going to do it scared because it needs to be done. Nobody's going to stand up for us if we don't do it.
I've walked into events scared. Like I was kind of intimidated going to Jason Kerberg's like Republican kickoff for his campaign. And I had a friend go with me. And then afterwards, I'm like, oh, those people were all incredibly nice to me. I met a bunch of
Right.
great like Republicans that care. I got some like things cleared up that I thought that were wrong that I've been told by people about them that were wrong. And so I left realizing that I didn't need to have any of that fear, but I still had it. So I know that feeling and I'm just really proud of you that you're doing it. Another thing that separates you now that I'm like a friend that I know about you is you're so honest. You're honest about yourself
Mhm.
and being honest helps you and who's your action push for positive change. And I try to be that way too because what we're fighting on all political parties in our government is just they don't want to acknowledge the truth. They want
Right.
their version of the story to stick. And the people that are avoiding you, that are avoiding Hoosier Action when they see a shirt, I think it's people that have really been avoiding the truth.
That makes, yeah, I could agree with that. Yeah.
And I mean, people that are
I,
addicts don't want to talk because they don't want to admit they have a problem and they're avoiding the truth. I mean, you can see it in all factions of life, really.
but you should see them come alive when they go up to testify at a committee or go to the state house and just having that energy, of wow, I can go talk to a senator, or wow, I can go up and meet the governor and watch him sign a bill.
That's the power
Uh,
of Hoosier Action right there. That's what
yeah,
you all are doing. You're giving them the power and telling them what they have to say matters when they've been told by so many in the system that they don't matter.
yep.
And that is the power of Hoosier Action. You said that so well, Tony. I went to, I think you're talking about the same one, maybe. I think I was at the event in Scottsburg. It was the first Hoosier Action like town hall, and it was in Scottsburg, and it was
Oh
before the
yeah,
'22.
this was a couple years before that.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
I went to
yeah.
one,
I
and
remember
that's
when
where
you
I
was at the,
saw,
yeah.
yeah, that's when I saw the power of Hoosier Action because real people came up and told the real stories. And you saw why we needed to push government Indiana change. And it was so bipartisan. It was nonpartisan. There were elected officials that came from both parties. And it was just a care about this community. Here's this person that was hurting this way, and we need to pass a bill to help those type of people. And it's so driven on action of helping the actual people hurting.
Yep.
Yeah,
Who's
it's
your action?
just
Yeah. Yeah.
Hoosier Action.
That was,
And
was that the one where Donald Rainwater, the gubernatorial candidates came up, I think.
yeah, Jennifer McCormick was there.
Jennifer McCormick, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Ed Clear,
Ed
Wendy
Clear.
Dantchester.
Yeah.
Yep, 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 yep. Yeah,
Jennifer
yeah.
Meltzer from up in Indy area, she came down. Yeah.
Yeah, I cried like 6 times. Everybody's story was so beautiful, and
That was a
sad.
big push. That was a big push towards the
A
fentanyl
plus
test strip.
successful. You pulled
Yeah.
that off. Yeah,
We
yeah.
we aligned, there were several different campaigns we were aligning, and that was kind of our entry
And
to
it's emotional and 100% the truth. It's not
100%.
this fake propaganda stuff that we
Nope.
see online that's just pushing us to be more divided. Yeah, it's really amazing. Tony, you're
I'm not going to
amazing.
spread those lies. I'm not going to do that.
It's a litmus test, everybody, for if you are down here in Southern Indiana or if you are at the state house, does your elected official listen to Hoosier Action and talk with them? That right there tells you how truthful they are. If they won't look at Hoosier Action, if they're going a different way when they see that shirt, that's telling you they're avoiding the truth. And so, one of the reasons why you guys are my favorite group around here is because of that. You can see, well, is this elected official talking to Hoosier Action? You know, do they got something to hide? Why aren't they talking? New
If not, why
Albany
aren't you? Yeah.
government mayor in Indiana, are you talking to Hoosier Action? Just saying. But you can always start now. No judgment. Maybe
No,
you
no,
can
no.
reach out today. I think there's a whole chapter of Hoosier Action dedicated to transparency and accountability that would love to speak with you.
They
No
would.
judgment.
No
You can
judgment.
you can start doing the right thing today. Today, right, Tony?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
we
We
forgot.
invite them. We invite them to our events.
Yes. Tony, we forgot the most important thing to talk about. This is so funny. I'm glad I remember before we end the show. On Thursday, I'm doing a show. I'm going to sit here in my chair and I'm going to send out the link to you and other Hoosier Action people. And we are going to, on Project Next, live stream this press conference.
Yeah.
So the thing you're talking about that's going to happen, we're going to show it here. It's going to be an experiment. We've never really done it. My husband thought of this idea. We can pull up a bunch of cameras on my program on Project Next, and I can mute everybody but one. So I'm going to pull all this up. We're going to see different angles. We're going to talk to more Hoosier Action people. Hopefully some of the people that you work with, Tony, will come on and talk, and we're going to get the press conference, and we're going to get why we're doing this, and hopefully it'll be very exciting. You can also follow on Hoosier Action the full stream of just the press
Yeah.
conference, but we're going to try to like make it really entertaining. That's what I'm going to try
Yeah.
to do.
That's
Entertain
going to
this
be
up.
cool.
Yeah, get as much
I'm excited to
attention.
be your guinea pig. So,
If there's anybody brave enough willing to try this out with me, Tony, it's you. So this is going to be fun, my friend. I'm really
yeah.
excited. If there's tech issues, I'm sorry, and it's all my fault. But let's try it out. So it'll be maybe a little before 11 whenever you guys are ready. I'm going to be ready at 10:30, and I'm going to send you all the links at 10:30, and as soon as somebody's ready to join, hop on and we'll start it, and then we're going to like take it through and see how far we can get with it and see if we can get some interviews and stuff from people. So if you're up there,
I'll, yeah, I'm sure people will want to talk to you.
if you're up
So,
there and you're coming to this on Thursday and you're coming because you heard about it here and you want to get on, find Tony and be like, I want to talk to Sarah. I came because of da da da, and tell your story. I really want to shine a light on why are you there fighting for this, and let's see how big we can get it so we can help Tony and we can help people that need it the most in our state. So I'm really excited. Are you excited?
yes, I'm excited. I've been so excited for this when you told me about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I showed you how it was
We're
going to
all
work.
excited. I mean,
You came
yeah.
over. You came over for coffee. I showed you how it could work because I was like, "Wait, Tony, last time you were on, I barely knew what I was doing. I've learned some stuff now."
We were both babies in our field at that time.
We really were. We've grown so much. I'm so proud of us. Yeah, I'm proud of you. Drive safe going up to Indy because you're going really early in the morning, right?
Yeah, I have a senator meeting in the morning. So, and if people are interested in Care Not Cuffs, if that's your specific chapter, we have a chapter meeting the first Thursday of every month, right here at 919 State Street, 6 o'clock. We have food. So again,
Say that
first
date. When
Thursday.
is it? First
It's
Thursday
the
of the
first
month at
Thursday of
6 o'clock
every
in the
month,
evening. And
six
you can
o'clock.
find that information. Can you just find it on the website, Hoosier
It's
Action's
on the
website?
website. Yes,
That's
yes.
amazing. You get
HoosierAction.org.
food, come
Get
in,
food.
join the
Yes.
conversation. We have so many people in this fight for recovery. We have so many people that we need to help and support. The more people that join Tony, literally the more lives you can save. Like it's literally saving human lives in our community. And maybe it's another Tony. Maybe it's another Tony that's going to fight for more people. I mean, the recovering
I
addicts
want to
I
find
know
somebody
all help.
greater,
Yeah,
better than me, greater than me.
it's good to think outside the box, Tony. Yeah, the people that I've met through you and people that I've met that have come out of recovery, they all help people with recovery. It's like once they survive it, they know how to do it and they immediately look to help. And we need so many of those people, my friend, because there's a lot of people that are struggling with this. Yeah. Okay,
Could
this
you
is such a
imagine
fun.
could you imagine if the regular society did that, helped each other with everyday problems that they've gone through? What would this world turn to?
Well, it would be a lot different than the one we're living in right now.
It
And
sure
that's
would.
another reason why I started Project Next. Can we get more people involved in community? What's the thing you care about? Can I help connect you with it? Like that's one of the things I'm trying to do. I hope it's working. I don't, I'm doing my best.
It's
Yeah.
working. It's working. We're both
Well,
getting bigger. We're getting a more wider range of people. So,
we met because you saw Project Next someplace. So that's
yeah,
nice.
yeah,
Yeah, Kate, give Kate my love. She's awesome.
I will.
Everybody that works at Hoosier Action, you all have my love, and I'm just so thankful for you. I will see you on Thursday. Join us, everybody, Thursday. Oh, and
Yes,
also the Project Next store is open. This is a great way to help Project Next grow. Projectnext.com slash no heyelmer.com slash project next heyelmer.com slash project next. Get your shirt. You just bought a shirt, didn't you?
I've just ordered a shirt. Yep,
I can't wait for you to wear it. I'm gonna be like very
purple.
I'm gonna be very impressed. Yeah, there's a lot of colors. I'm glad that we got your favorite color in there. So yeah, go there. If you want to see how the shirt's made, check out the episode I did last week with Hey Elmer, where I showed him he made shirts for me and my kids. It's pretty cute. Yeah, and then join us on Thursday. You can join us on Project Next. You can join us literally at the State House and you can meet Tony.
Yep.
And then let's do this, my friend. Let's push, let's demand better for Indiana. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for what you're
Thank you
doing.
for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Well,
Yep.
you're definitely coming on again. So you'll be on there again. All right. Love you, my
Bye.
friend. See
Bye.
you on
Love you. Bye.
Thursday. All right. Bye,
Yep.
everybody.